Can you introduce yourself and wonderful group of ladies?
Okay, so thank you so much, Lynn, for hosting us, having this conversation with us. We really feel it's an important conversation to have here in Jersey City. My name is Eiko Laboria. I am United States of Women Ambassador for New Jersey. United States of Women is a national nonpartisan organization that was born of the Obama administration. The co-chairs are Valerie Jarrett, former senior political advisor to President Obama, Tina Chen, former chief of staff to First Lady Michelle Obama, and CEO of Time's Up, which is the sister movement to Me Too, and Jordan Brooks, who was a former aide to Joe Biden. So this was born out of the administration. They created this to have greater empowerment and greater gender equity across the board. And then I'm also a founder and the Flow Initiative, and I share that with my partner Cynthia Vasquez. I believe she's here. So what we do is we, through donations, through both monetary and in-kind donations, we make packages of period products and donate them to those most in need throughout Jersey City, Hudson County. It's been an incredible experience, especially during the pandemic. I'll definitely let Cynthia tell you more about that. But yeah, we've donated over 3,500 period products, and it was nothing. It was like, it was barely helping because there was such exasperation.
Great.
As the United States of Women Ambassador, I've had the great privilege of meeting such a great group of women that are all over Jersey City, Hudson County. And one of the main roles of my ambassadorship, besides identifying issues, identifying problems that are affecting all women across all facets, is to identify these women and amplify their voices. So I thought, instead of me telling you about that, they would join us, and we could definitely be about it instead of talk about it, and introduce you to these great women doing phenomenal work in all across Hudson County.
I love it. So I want to meet everybody.
So we have Cynthia. Let's start with Cynthia Vasquez. And she was, when I first spoke of the Flow Initiative, she jumped right in. She has been so supportive and such a big part of the movement. So Cynthia, take it away.
Hello, how is everyone doing this morning? Thank you so much for having me, Lynn. I appreciate it. Thank you, Eiko, for inviting me to this. So my name is Cynthia Vasquez. I wear a lot of different hats, so I don't know how to introduce myself, but I'll say that I've been working at New Jersey City University as an assistant director for the College of Education for 20 years now. I'm a born native of Jersey City, specifically in Ward A. Although I grew up in downtown Jersey City when downtown was predominantly Puerto Rican, and once upon a time my grandmother lived there. So I know Jersey City very well. And so I'm also the president-elect for the Jersey City Rotary Club. And in that particular role, I've been able to meet many different people in the community who always want to give back. And Eiko Laboria was one of them who had approached me sort of accidentally, actually. We had met just through a boyfriend of mine who basically said that she's an activist and that it would be nice to team up with her. So me and Eiko actually started doing work for the hurricane after Hurricane Maria occurred in Puerto Rico. We started doing some work for them, which was pretty successful. It was kind of like an impromptu event, and it turned out to be very successful. And so based off of that, me and her developed this friendship. And so she would always contact me to let me know if, she's such an activist in the community that she would always sort of let me know, hey, this is going on. And she would always kind of inform me. And so she's the one that sort of introduced this concept of period poverty in our community. And I was very surprised to hear about that. And I often tell this story because people often equate poverty in third world countries. They don't really realize that it's happening in your own backyard. And so when she had described this concept to me, I knew that it was something that I wanted to get involved with because again, I've been, living in the city forever. And I often think about those areas such as Ward A, Ward F, that really are, to me, still not developed as much as they should be. And so to me, this was an important initiative, not only for the surrounding communities in Jersey City, but overall for women who really live on a tight budget. And the smallest little things like feminine products can really just be so costly. And so I think it's a great initiative. I think there's a lot of importance there. And I think that it's a connection to other areas under, other categories that affect women in our communities. And so that's where I came into play. And so we've been collaborating ever since. And we've done quite a bit of work in the community, even under COVID times. We're trying to be careful. Obviously, we don't want to, cause the spread of infection or anything like that. So what me and her have been doing is just sort of reaching out to different community agencies, partnering up with them. The idea is for us to create pantries throughout Jersey City so that women can get these products for free, because we felt that that would probably be the best way to do it for now. The ultimate idea is to obviously also initiate this concept in schools in Jersey City, but that's taking a little bit longer because now this whole thing with virtual teaching and everything has taken over. And so we don't want to disturb that right now, but eventually the idea is to introduce it to the schools Jersey City so that we can be a help of a service for them. And we also want to eventually, in the long run, hopefully it'll get into legislation where products of these can be free in all public places for women so that women don't have to worry about not having it on them when they need it. And so that's really kind of the basis of it.
Struggle is real. I
Yeah.
love normalize our periods.
Exactly. Get them out of the closet.
Or I yell a
For
lot,
sure.
especially when it comes to like women issues. Like I'm so with you guys. All right, who's next?
Jenna Tulantes is the founder of Jersey City Women's Collaborative. Hey, Jasmine. and so she's created this incredible forum where women come together, an incredible space. And we had an event yesterday. You have to come and check it out. The sisterhood is amazing. So Jenna, please tell Jersey City about this great organization.
Thanks, Nico. Hi, Lynn. I'm Jenna. I'm a photographer. I live near Lincoln Park, and I founded the collaborative back in the fall of 19. Once COVID hit, things kind of fell apart, and I was stuck at home with my husband and missing my girls. So I picked it back up virtually through Instagram, and it's gained so much momentum since then and turned into a really nice safe space for women in Hudson County to gather, network, and support their neighbors. We meet every other Wednesday, and we usually have some sort of a action item event happening at each meeting. And then after our event, we meet and we sit in sister circle, and we have a feel-good free raffle at the end, and everyone goes home happy.
That's for sure. Yeah, and what's so great about the Women's Collaborative when I first spoke to Jenna was that there was something about this that wasn't in Jersey City. I had never run into this type of group, and I was just so happy, and I think many women are happy. We have Jasmine and Kiki, who are also members, they're artists in Jersey City, are also members of it, and so it's a great space for women to thrive, to vent, to create, and be supportive.
Awesome. Who's next? Love it.
So I got women of know who are extraordinary young women, the generation Zers, and I have a learning curve with them because Generation Z is amazing.
I go from millennial to Gen Z depending on the day.
Oh yeah, they are. What's so extraordinary about this group of young women is, and we also have Gabriela Ambrois, that's also a Generation Zer. But the women of know who are fighting for sex education and the importance of learning of consent. And they have been great fighters for Vanessa Guillaume. They have there are an extraordinary group of women. They have been speaking at municipal meetings. They have been rallying. We have Hallie Benson. I believe I didn't see Lily, but Jocelyn. I think maybe she's Women of Know Who. So yeah, go for it, Hallie.
I'm right here.
Where are you?
I'm through Woman of Know Who. It's just that my camera's not working.
Oh, okay. You're the big W. Lily, hi.
Hey, thank you, Eco, so much for the introduction. My heart is filled with love. So,
mine too.
Oh, I love it. We created this movement last year, around October, and our motivation was against street harassment, because I'm not sure if you all are aware, in our towns of Western York, Union City, North Bergen, Weehawken, Guttenberg, and our main road, Bergen Line, if you walk in the street, at least in my personal experience, you get catcalled. Before last year, I guess street harassment didn't really affect me, because I was very young and I didn't really care and I didn't know the severity of it all. But, growing up and experiencing life, I realized how words hurt, and machismo cuts very deep, especially if you have wounds and experiences of it all. And so with some wrath and as well as love, I created Woman of Know Who with my friend Joanne, and we cultivated such an amazing movement with young women and also young men that are allies in our community. And so, as Eco said, we are fighting to get justice for Vanessa Guillen. No, it's okay.
I'm so sorry.
And this is through banning military from our schools, and as Eco said as well, educating people from of consent. And with us is Hallie Benson and Jocelyn from Women of Know Who as well. If I left anything out, Hallie or Jocelyn, feel free to jump in.
Let me, while we're in the Generation Zers, let's speak with Gabriella Ambroise. She is a great advocate, candidate. She's a St. Peter's student. I saw her platform, and she is a former candidate for Freeholder, and I really liked everything I read, so I invited her on. So Gabriella.
Hi, good morning. Thank you for inviting me to this. I'm so excited to be here. And much like other women in this group, I noticed a lot of issues in our county. And my platform when I was running covered a lot of areas of criminal justice, education. But nowadays I'm refocusing my energy into doing more local work, considering the pandemic as well. I've been working with Solidarity Jersey City lately on doing work with the CCRB and making sure that gets passed through not only our state, but also with our city council in Jersey City. But I've really been focusing my energy in doing work for the queer community in Jersey City and even in Hudson County as well. I started Hear My Voice USA. It's a collective of Black queer voices about a year ago. And I actually restarted it again this year. I noticed that, the pandemic can, have folks feeling lonely, and, because we're not able to have that face-to-face connection, you lose that sense of community. I myself came out as bisexual and genderqueer, non-binary, about a year ago, last summer as well, right when I started Hear My Voice. And the reason why I called it Hear My Voice is I wanted a chance for Black, queer, identifying people to have their voice heard, have their issues heard, and have their issues valued. So it's kind of brand new. Nothing's coming out just yet. I just had a meeting with some folks a couple weeks ago to kind of get it started over again. But I'm excited to do more work in Hudson County and really bring more attention to issues, particularly relating to Black trans women. The average lifespan of a Black trans woman is 32 years old. So I really want to do more work in advocacy, in organizing locally and statewide as well, with bringing attention to these issues and making sure that, we have needed protections for these communities. I struggled with my identity growing up, and even now I still kind of struggle with it. And I want to ensure that, as a millennial in my future and in the future of those who come after me, coming out, doesn't have to feel like, you're dragging your feet or that there's shame with it, that, you can be yourself and you can feel welcomed and loved, and that's okay.
You're beautiful. I'm going to cry. You're so beautiful.
I'm Jasmine. I go by Princess Art on Instagram. I'm not from Jersey. I moved here 2 years ago from South Florida. I'm like a Broward County girl. No one really knows about Broward County, but I went to school in Miami, and I'm up here now doing art, really focusing on collage art, and I founded a collage group called Vision Coven in January of this year. And Kiki's like my partner in that, and she helps me run Vision Coven. And basically, Vision Coven is just one of our ways to spread the love and art form of collage, because I think collage is the most inclusive and accessible art form, and art is so integral to healing, emotional healing, and it's the best way to feel like an artist without having to spend so much money, So Vision Coven is just like, we're doing monthly meetups with people interested in learning about collage. Like, we do Zoom meetings and we watch something about collage every month. We do like prompts so people can just dip their hands and seeing what it's like to make art for not a lot of money, because I believe everyone can make art. You don't have to be financially well off. You don't have to be, it's something that every human should be able to do and help form their own identity with. So that's me. That's what we do.
And just a quick note before Kiki starts, I just want to point out that 88% of artists hanging in galleries across the U.S. are white and male, and only 2% of women are actually represented in art galleries or art shows. And that's why it's so important to elevate the voice of artists, because they really are marginalized and underrepresented. Kiki.
Thank you, Aiko. Thank you
You're
for
welcome.
inviting me. I'm so impressed with everyone. I'm so inspired. So my name is Kiki. I go by Cut Paste Face on Instagram. And yeah, I love collage, like Jasmine put so beautifully. It's very inclusive. Like, you can literally just use your mail. You just rip things up. I feel like, yeah, it's very therapeutic. And through my art, I like to express femininity, and I like to make feminist pieces. And I think like women are just incredible, and so I'm just so happy to support in any way I can. Aiko had this amazing initiative to do pad art challenge, so that was really fun. And I feel like, yeah, I want to get rid of the stigma. Like, half of the population gets their period, and it's something to be ashamed of. Seeing like grown women still whispering like, do you have a tampon? Do you have a pad? Like, I just want to be like, let's just say it. Let's just say it. Like, you know, like there's no there shouldn't be any shame around it. So I feel like a lot of other issues, like the shame and the stigma around it conflates, you know, problems getting access to it and, you know, problems. I know so many women that deal with menstrual pain. I myself deal with menstrual pain and having to go to different gynecologists, not having my pain taken seriously. So all of that just to say, like, I think this is an amazing initiative and I'm happy to be here with you all.
Thank you so much, Keith.
So yeah, I am the founder of a movement entitled the I Deserve Project. Thank you, Aiko, for a nice introduction. I founded the I Deserve Project about 5 years ago when my position at Prudential was eliminated, and I really found my way. And the idea around it was to share your story, to empower others to share theirs. And I went through a ton of life, which I'm sure most of you have already. I mean, I grew up in Greenville section in Jersey City. I lost my mom due to heart health and obesity when I was 18. At 19, I became a single mom. At 20, worked my way through corporate America. And, you know, story goes on after that. But what inspired me to do that is because I realized that I lost my voice in corporate America, making a multiple six-figure income, really striving, and I got to the top of where I was going at the time, and then all of a sudden my position was eliminated, and it was like, who am I? And so I found that, and I found that voice. And so, you know, fast forward, I actually wound up launching or opening my own financial practice. I opened it with Northwestern Mutual just before the pandemic, but I do have 22 years investment experience. In the midst of all that too, I decided to decided to partner with BW Nice, and BW Nice is actually, they tapped me on the shoulders to become their president of the Hudson County chapter. BW Nice is a women's business networking group surrounding charity and education. We have our charity partner who is Women Rising, who most of you probably are familiar with. And so our charity partner, again, is Women Rising, but there's 17 chapters that span all of New Jersey, 3 in Pennsylvania, 1 in Ohio, and I believe we're launching in Texas as well. So it's a big undertaking. Unfortunately, we launched our chapter in February, so just before the pandemic, but we've been meeting virtually. And so I'm pretty excited about that, because what we're doing is we're bringing business leaders and community leaders together within our organization, and really be able to collaborate across the board. But I Deserve Project as a whole is a movement that is around clarity, wellness, nourishment, empowerment, and financial advice. I also host women's empowerment events, which just starts with mindfulness, starts with collaboration and connection. And so I'm again inspired to be around anyone in this group, and every woman definitely has a voice, and I believe that we are so much better together. And just, you know,
women empower women.
Yes, that's it. That's it. I mean, there's not, you know, we all have our own unique fingerprint, right? And so I think what we forget from time to time is like, we forget from time to time that we're meant to really connect and collaborate with one another, not to compete. And so it's really difficult at certain points to do that, because if you're in an organization, people think, well, I want to do what this person's doing. And so it doesn't necessarily always have to be that way. You can collaborate, and it's so much better together. And I'm also connected to the Jersey City Rotary. I'm the vice president of with Cynthia, so I'm blessed to be able to work with her as well. And I'm also the secretary, so do a lot of work in the community. And I'm thrilled to be here, and I'm thrilled to always meet new, beautiful faces. Lynn, I know you do a great job. I applaud everything that you do, and I'm honored to be here. Aiko is a blessing in my life, so
Aww.
I'm excited. Yeah, you're a powerhouse, girl.
So my
I run Sexy Sustainability. It's my Instagram and my Twitch right now, and I try to teach people about sustainability through my body. I think it's a great way to get people to pay attention, and you know, I really care about the environment, and the oppression of this earth is simultaneous, not the same, but simultaneous with the oppression of women. So I think it's really important that we free both, and the freedom of one comes the freedom of the other. So yeah, that's a little bit about me, but whoever would like to go next.
My name is Jocelyn. I am currently a student in college. I go to school in George Mason. I started working with Women of Nohu only like maybe 2 months ago during the uprise of the Vanessa Guillen case. I've been working very closely with them, trying to make things better and change a lot of different things. I'm a native to the area, so I've always been, I guess, susceptible to the harassment that people experience in the street, and I've always been very passionate about changing it. Hearing all of y'all talk about what you do is super inspiring and makes my heart whole, because my whole life motto is just making the world better for the people behind me. Like, I'm willing to go through the tough and the dirty to get to the better just for other people. So I'm so glad that finally there's people who are willing to actually come out and speak out about period products, period pains, trying to better women's safety. And yeah, I'm gonna drop my Instagram in the chat, and I'll just follow all of you guys later. Thank you so much.
So yeah, I've been so happy to just meet these and connect with these women individually, and just to piggyback off what you said, when women come together, we are a force of nature. And what we have to start seeing is that seeing women less as our competitors and more as our collaborators. Absolutely. Because when we do that, there's literally nothing that can stop us. Michelle Obama said this recently at a When We All Vote event. She says, when women come together, there is such an incredible amount of passion from just coming from all sides that nothing can stop us. And I think especially in Hudson County, we need more of this, because the largest demographic of people living in poverty in Hudson County are women between the ages of 25 to 34. And they are followed by women between 34 to 44 as the second largest demographic of people living in poverty. The majority of our elected officials are male. And so we have to really start looking at these things. And while all this is going on, the largest growing bloc and the largest of voters are women. So Michelle Williams said something incredible that when she received an award, which has always been ingrained in my mind, which is, you know, women between the ages of 18 to 118, when you go out and vote in your own self-interest. And I think we don't do that because we don't even really discuss what our issues are. We don't even know what our self-interest is. We don't know what that means. And what all these groups, to me, do, what all these incredible women do, they highlight what our interests as women are. You know what, this is what we should be fighting for. We should be voting for people that do this and say this and say this as women. And when we don't, things, you know, we live in the majority of us live in poverty, like we do in Hudson County. Sorry, Jenna, were you going to say something?
No, I wasn't. But I can share the story about the police that we talked about last night, because I thought that was a really
yes.
I'd like to propose this reminder that we are immensely powerful, and the reason why we're constantly being berated by other men, or we've been pushed down for generations and generations, is because they know that we're powerful. And the more power we get, the less power that they have, like specifically speaking about men. And as we gain more power, there will constantly be struggles with people trying to tear us down. And it's because they know the more power we get, the more we can really change this world and make sure everything is better for everyone. Because I think it's especially, and you know, I don't want to generalize, like women are only people with ovaries and whatever it may be, but typically women are people that I would assume are people that just care about each other. And that's like what I see consistently with women, is like they care enough to put in the effort to make sure that you are okay at any time, any day. And it's something that I see consistently, and I find it to be so, it's so inspirational, and it makes me ready for the future of, you know, the future is our community, and it's not just about women, but it's about people who identify as women and the people who are willing to uplift us and make sure that we can all work together and creating a future that we all deserve to live in. Yeah.
Yes.
So can people join like your group? Like, can you tell more a little bit? So if anybody wants to get involved in any of these initiatives, what's the process like?
So the Flow Initiative, Cynthia and I work together. We have a current challenge, which is the Flow Challenge, which is to paint a pad. I hope, Lynn, you'll paint a pad.
Sure.
And post it as a way to start normalizing the period and share it, and we post it on.
You guys are all wonderful.
Thank you, Lynn.
Nice meeting you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I would love to do this again.
Thank you.